Folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I'd hoped to get this video done before it started raining, but since it's sprinkling on me now, I guess it's too late for that. Supposed to be getting quite a bit of rain. For those of you in the Missouri and Arkansas Ozarks, I would start getting your canoes out and your hip waders, because there's some areas that are, going to be getting 4+ inches of rain in a pretty short amount of time. There's flood warnings out through most of the Ozarks over the next 24 hours. So, and I know that other places in the country certainly have been getting storms. I saw that down in Texas, was it the El Paso area? They were getting like softball size hail, quite a bit of damage. And then of course the winds and tornadoes the other night over in Oklahoma. But it's that season. It is storm season. We're getting to that. Maybe coming a little early this year, it seems like, for here anyways. But certainly remember that preparedness isn't just end of the world nuclear apocalypse stuff that we're preparing for. You should be also prepared to just get through storms, power outages, tornadoes, floods, things like that. You should be getting yourself prepared for, because it's, again, that time of the year. A lot of stuff, not good stuff going on in the news. Hold on a second. Been working, talking. I did almost a 2-hour radio interview last night, and had a couple other meetings this week, plus the one, our big one on Sunday. And so my voice is kind of, it's taking its toll, and that with, I think, probably a little allergies. I wake up in the morning congested, so I think there's some allergies going on. My throat is not feeling its normal self. But anyways, is there going to be a world war? There already is a war, and we already really are at a world war. But I'm talking about an escalation. It's almost daily. Things are moving closer and closer, and I think a lot of times for folks like myself, and I'm going to assume a lot of you, when we see this stuff, we're like, how much more can we move closer to a direct, conflict between NATO, United States, and Russia between now and then? I mean, how many more steps can there be before it actually happens? In case you haven't been following, a group of what Russia has deemed terrorists has entered into Russia from Ukraine, and they have attacked a couple of border villages inside Russia. There's been some injuries and some deaths because of that. Reports were about 40 to 50 people came in from Ukraine. There's video of them. They show their videos, like they filmed themselves inside Russia, saying that they've done this. And there, in the beginning, or at least just earlier today and yesterday, I saw some reports that Ukraine was disavowing it, said that they had nothing to do with this. This was not official. This may have just been some random people that don't like Russia and they went in there. Except now a video has surfaced of one of the people that went into Russia to do these acts, that also videotaped themselves talking to the camera, bragging that they went in and attacked Russia. One of the guys in that video was in a video months back, an interview by CNN, that he was part of the Ukrainian forces, a volunteer with Ukrainian forces. So this could definitely be an escalation, major escalation. In fact, Putin has called a top-level security council to discuss this. There are numerous, just today, there's been numerous officials in Russia calling for Putin to declare war, official war. You probably know this, but this is just, they're not even have declared war in Ukraine yet. It's just been a security, type of event that they're doing, peacekeeping mission. And so they're calling for the people in Russia are calling for Russia to declare war. That could happen, and that would definitely be an escalation to the things that's going on. We could very possibly see Russia take a more aggressive stance on the targets they choose, and choose possible targets that there could be collateral damage. Other things, there's more talk about planes being sent to Ukraine, F-16s. Russia is saying if those F-16s are serviced or come from Poland, they're landing and being serviced there, fueled there, that they will consider that being NATO is involved, even if it's Ukrainian pilots flying them. Estonia is suggesting giving Ukraine a nuclear weapon. That would solve so many problems, wouldn't it? Right? Yeah, that's just fix the problems that way. And then, of course, China and the United States keep their saber rattling up. The United States is saying that they know that China has been helping in non-lethal ways with Russia, and that they're very confident that China is planning on starting to help in lethal ways, and that would be a big red line in making all these threats. But yet, on the other hand, of course, we've been sending hundreds of billions of dollars in aid and weapons to Ukraine, but we've also just sold over $600 million in weapons to Taiwan. So I guess it's okay for us to go around and sell and give weapons to anyone we want to. But if China does it, and I'm not a fanboy of China, not at all. I think they are one of the enemies. But maybe the United States can be considered that at times too. But the point is that, I mean, from Chinese perspective, America's going around and giving, weapons and selling stuff to whoever they want. Why can't they? There's red lines are being crossed. At some point, a red line is going to get crossed between China and the United States, and we're going to start seeing something more happen. I suspect that both countries are a little concerned if they're ready for this. From all the little whispers that I see and hear from an official capacity, I'm pretty sure that both the United States and China know that this is the path that they're headed down, but they're both a little uncertain if they're actually ready for this type of war, this size and magnitude of war. And that may be why it's kind of a slow process. They also have a bunch of money in the game, and both of them want to make money in the end. So we'll see how that pans out. Speaking of money, Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, and a few other, I guess, important people met today. I haven't heard anything of it, but of what came out of it. But they met in regards to CBDCs. They're saying that with the global situation of other currencies, BRICS, things like that, the only way to really ensure that the U.S. dollar stays solidly as the global reserve currency is to bring about CBDCs, which is pretty much some of the things that I've been saying for a while. Now, they've been saying that the Fed has been saying for a while that this Federal Reserve, CBDC, Fed coin or whatever, is supposed to be available sometime between May and June. I understand mostly it's going to be used on a corporate and central banking level, but it will still be. There's some light thunder. It will most likely also be available to individuals, because in some of their literature it talks about, it lists the people that will benefit, and then it also says households. Well, that's you, okay? Doesn't mean it's going to be forced upon you on day one. But at some point I've got to believe, because it just seems logical, that for a CBDC digital currency, central bank digital currency, for that to be effective, it's going to have to not be competing against paper money. And so at some point, the paper money is just going to have to go away for some reason, whether it's a cyber attack or the claim that the war is going to make it, not usable because it's not as secure, or maybe hyperinflation or something like that. But I suspect at some point we're going to see something happen to the U.S. dollar. And that right there has got to be one of the biggest things that we should be thinking about, most important, because that is drastically life-changing, folks. That is a major, major, major leap forward in the New World Order. Not little baby steps. That's a major leap forward. And so we have to get ourselves prepared, and there are many ways. I talked about it over on Patreon today if you want to go watch that video. But certainly we need to be getting ready and getting our houses in order. The chessboard, again, is being set up for a global takeover. And they've been telling us this for years. They've been telling it in their videos and their literature and the news interviews, their books that they put out. They tell us this. This is not a conspiracy. Okay, it's right out there in the open. All of these world leaders, they say this is what their plan is, and they're doing it. It's being done right before our eyes. And really the best thing that you can do as an individual is get yourself ready for it. Get prepared, get stocked up, get to a place that where you're not as dependent upon that system. Folks, right now is the time to get your house in order. Time to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Yeah. Now let's go inside before I get too wet.